So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mars in the third house, this time as your Atmakaraka, as in the planet with the highest degree. Okay. And as I always say, that we don't include Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto in this particular scheme. This is a 7 Karaka system. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position along with all your astrological details, you can go to Astrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I just uploaded a video on wealth, on how to quickly see the potential of wealth in your chart or anybody else's chart. It's on Karis Vlogs. So, with Mars in the third house, first of all, this is actually as an Atmakaraka. As an Atmakaraka, it's one of the best positions for Mars to have. Okay. Usually Mars in the third, sixth, and 10th house is very powerful as Atmakaraka, because when Mars is the Atmakaraka, you know what Mars says? Mars says if there are a bunch of people doing something, and maybe let's say it's not coming out to be the way it's supposed to be, it's not being done to the perfection it's supposed to be, this person is going to be like, okay, listen, you guys go do that, I'm going to do this. They will take on that responsibility. Why? Because Mars, as the Atmakaraka in the third house, gets fed by showing courage, gets fed by showing stamina, gets fed by showing determination. So usually this is a Mars that keeps a person, in a very ready, set, go mode. Okay, because no matter how many malefic impacts this Mars has, and I'm sorry, if a malefic impact is there, that actually could make Mars even stronger. And if your moon is strong, especially in Navamsha, in Dreshkan, then you have the courage to do anything. Okay. Now, of course, there's courage of two types. One towards taking the right action. Okay. The other is towards taking the wrong action. So it depends upon, of course, the entire chart to really judge the actions and the courage that you have. Is it going to be towards a good or bad thing? Like there's courage to save somebody in the middle of the road. Okay? Then there's courage to rob somebody in the middle of the road. Right? Both are courage. Because it actually, don't think that debilitated Mars or weak Mars, this person is doing something wrong in their life. Like somebody who robs you at gunpoint. Oh no, it takes absolute courage where they know what the consequences could be if they get caught. It's almost life in prison. So imagine how much strong that Mars has to be. See, when bad people take actions, something has to be strong in their chart. So when we look at, oh, well, your Sun is strong, your Jupiter is strong, your Mars is strong. Okay, so how is it that it's strong? Because if it's strong, and rest of the planet, including Moon, is saying that I just need courage, a little bit of courage to do this thing, to do this act of robbing and getting free money, free merchandise. It's going to look to Mars to do that. Okay, but we don't know these parameters with this Mars single-handedly sitting here. Because 1 million people will have Mars in the third. Out of that, 100,000 could have their Mars or 10,000 could have Mars as Atmakaraka in the third house. But see, because Atmakaraka represents part of your soul's and part of your soul's mission and your personality, this is what I'm talking about. That this Mars is going to encourage you to take on responsibility. If some action is not being done right, you'll be like, I will do that action right. So, right, in a good sense, a surgeon can come in, no, I'm going to save this person. And there are a bunch of people beating somebody. This person comes in, no, you guys are not doing a good job. Watch how I take care of this person and end this person. On the other hand, also, this Mars would have responsibility of the siblings. Okay? Early on, you will see that them helping out their sibling, fighting for their sibling, maybe dealing with a bully. In childhood, the things that happen starts giving you confidence and courage. This is why it's so important to encourage your children, even if, let's say, they made something really horrible as a craft thing. They were doing some science project and they made really bad solar system and all that. You can't say, oh, this is horrible, do it again. No, say, wow, this is really great. I love how you did this color, did that color. Now, what if you also did this? Do you think that will make it better too? Then the child will be more encouraged to feel courageous that, wow, I did it and all it needed is just a little bit of this. Okay. So this Mars is going to experience these things from an early childhood where they're going to find that small bits of courage that adds up to at the point when they become a teenager, adult, that they're like, yeah, I can do it. Okay. This is why you will see that many people may not have the best education. But they're like, you know what? I'm going to do something big. I'm going to do something amazing. And I know I can do it. So that valor, that seed of that valor, comes through this Mars. This Mars usually will also always try to get into the midst and fights with relatives or of the fight of relative. If they see that one relative is fighting the other relative, and because Mars also wants justice. Okay? Because Mars is looking at the 9th house from the 3rd house. It's taking the qualities of the 9th house. Says, I want justice. I'm going to show my courage where there's justice needed. So Mars is going to show justice with the relatives. Whether they deserve that justice or they're getting the help to receive justice from this person. And because of this extra courage that this Mars accumulates as Atmakaraka, and you will see the barometer of how courageous this Mars is, look at the degrees of Mars. Because not all the time Mars is going to have 29 degrees. So it's the Atmakaraka. No. Mars can be Atmakaraka at 15 degrees, 12 degrees. Maybe rest of the planets are below 12 degrees. 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Mars is at 12. That means this is a very young Atmakaraka. The soul will still make quite a few mistakes before it learns its path and learns its courage. So barometer of courage becomes really high when Mars is at 29 degrees. Because it has covered the rest of the sign. It says, I have experienced this sign, this house that I'm in. So that particular Mars at 29 degree will have natural high level of courage, high level of determination. Somebody at 12 degrees, 13 degrees will have half of that. You see how this, and I know I haven't discussed this previously, but this is how you will see that a planet at 29 degrees will be extremely powerful, or 20 degrees or 25 degrees, because it now has covered most of the sign from its previous life. It knows how to handle it. So even if Mars is debilitated in the 3rd house at 28 degrees, right? Absolutely highest of debilitation. But as the Atmakaraka, it won't even show that this person has a debilitated Mars. They would be an athlete. They would be rich, famous athlete. Because they have the expertise. See, once you go into a zone, which is your debilitated sign, And in the last 6-7 lives, you dealt with what this sign does, how this sign operates. So when the 4th or 5th time when you go into that same area that gives you trouble, you know exactly how to go, where to go, how to navigate. Don't go into this street, don't go into that street, don't do this here, don't get out at this time. And boom, it's like you know how to handle this particular area. That's where this Mars will show. And also, being in the 3rd house, usually, like I said, this person is able to jump into scenario where they may not even care about their life. You know, somebody's at a riverbank and about to be washed away, you will go there and save. You'll take that chance, especially when Mars is a very high degree. Somebody with a lower degree Atmakaraka will think, like, if I do this, I could slip and I could go with this person. Maybe let me find a stake. Let me call the police quickly. Let me do this. There's precaution. But when Mars is at a high degree, it's like, I have experienced this. I know how to navigate and help this person. So Mars is kind of like curious to take certain one of those chances. Okay. And how Mars will do will depend upon how Mars is aspected or conjunct within this particular scenario. You will also see if you have a younger brother tends to teach this person tremendous amount of lessons of courage, of strength, and valor. Usually, I mean, your younger brother would be your best friend in scenarios where Mars is giving more of a positive result. Otherwise, if it's negative, then of course, younger brother will become arch enemy, and through that, your courage will come. So courage will come regardless, like I said. But if this is neutral Mars or positively aspected, you will see this person will like to involve their younger brother in their ventures. They'll feel like through my younger brother, I can do a lot of things because it's like 1 + 1, it's 11. You know, if I'm starting this business, let me give this proposal to my younger brother because I know he'll be able to do this and this. And they feel that confidence. Why? Because their younger brother is Mars. So now that living Mars is next to you, which is your Atmakaraka in the 3rd house. Now, like I said, this Mars becomes courageous, right? This Mars has that ability to just become very direct and straightforward. And where it hurts them is when they deal with the authority in their life, with their bosses in their life, managers in their life. They feel like, no, you don't get to tell me this. You don't get to tell me what to do. And this is where you will see this Mars will have many reincarnations in their profession because of those issues with the bosses. Now, the only way this Mars navigates is if it has a really high degree. It's not in its teens degree, or let's say all your planets are below 10 degrees and Mars is at 10 degree, then it will cause much more of irritation, even though you will show that particular courage, but it's going to be more 4 times out of 10. Mars at the highest degree might be, well, actually Mars with a lower degree will show that, you know, rebellious nature 8 out of 10 times, where Mars at 29 degrees, 28 degrees, you're like, okay, it's life. This person is going to be my boss. They're getting me paid. Okay, fine. You told me to do this. Okay, I'll do it. I don't need to waste my time showing my courage here. Because there's maturity. The higher the degree of the Atmakaraka is, the more maturity there is. Okay? So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mars in the 3rd house as your Atmakaraka. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. If you want to know everything about your chart, consultations, check out the links here at caresastrology.com. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.